Am I the biggest Elton John fan in the world? I don't know. How do you really quantify that?
He's got such an incredible, genuine love for the man. His music, his personality, as we can see in concerts and on television. He owns every album. He can play and sing every song.
He literally has every Elton John song ever on his iTunes. I mean, these are songs that I didn't even know he did.
And he knows the key of every song, he knows the word of every song, he knows all the instrumental solos of every song.
I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you.
Yeah, he's got like 20 of like the same song, like 8 of them are like the same thing from like different albums.
Yeah.
And then like 12 of them are like different
live versions,
and like different
recordings,
and, like, demo versions,
pre-recordings, yeah, demos.
So, yeah,
it's kind of amazing.
He's kind of a fan.
This is our kitten. She's actually named after an Elton John song. Her name is Chloe. I just like the ring of it, and it's actually one of our favorite songs off the Fox.
He just idolizes him every single day. Not in a crazy, creepy way, but in a really wonderful, loving way.
That I have a wall of Elton in my room. But I'm not like crazy memorabilia hound looking for every single thing that's Elton John. I have kind of my holy grail. It is the signed ticket stub from the concert on October 19th of last year when they debuted The Union with Leon Russell. It was a great concert, and I actually got VIP passes to the Good Morning America taping the following morning and got to sit right in the front row. I was on TV. It was great. I got to shake his hand and say hello, and he actually signed my ticket, and that's my pen that he used to sign it.
I think the 60th birthday concert in Madison Square Garden was so special. It was my first one.
Here I have the program that they were selling at the 60th birthday concert in Madison Square Garden, which was actually his 60th sellout show.
But every performance I've seen him in has been great. I saw him at the Garden once again. Since then, I saw him at Woodstock.
Yeah, I've seen him in concert 4 times this past year, which is a new record for me, which is really exciting. I feel like my life could have gone in a completely different direction. Who knows where I'd be right now if it weren't for Elton John. But music was kind of something that was always there, but it wasn't like my goal in life to be a musician. I wanted to be an artist. And that all changed when I got in 7th grade and went on a class trip to Chicago. My mom had bought Love Songs, which was a compilation of Elton's music from the 70s straight on through the 90s, and there were a couple of new songs on there too. And I asked her if I could borrow it for our class trip to Chicago. She let me borrow it, and I played it, and instantaneously I was in love with the music of Elton John. I mean, I remember sitting there listening to Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word and thinking, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing song ever. Daniel was on there too, I love that song. Someone Saved My Life Tonight, that was amazing. I mean, it was all so good. It was all so good. And from the same guy who made The Lion King, it just kind of blew my mind because I love The Lion King, but I didn't know there was anything beyond The Lion King. So this album really introduced me to the whole wide world of Elton. And when I got home, I was just like, I love this Elton John. I love this Elton John tape. Do we have any more Elton John? And at the time they didn't, so I went out and bought my first ever CD, which was Elton John's Made in England. And I listened to that a lot. I loved it. And I started figuring out how to play the songs on the piano. I just thought it was amazing. I could play these songs by this really cool guy, Elton John, who's a total rock star playing the piano. And that was kind of the beginning of a new career and life trajectory. Inspired by Elton, I started writing my own songs and performing. I actually got together with a friend of mine who was a drummer, and we would perform at talent shows, and we would perform after prom parties. We played at anniversary parties. It was great. We had a really great time doing that. Got involved in the jazz band. I actually played trumpet as well in the band, but in the jazz band I totally rocked out on the piano. I loved it. I loved it. I loved playing Elton John's music. I loved playing my own music, and even with all the Elton John and the rockin' out that I was doing, I actually was also inspired to continue with my classical music, and I worked really hard and got a scholarship to Westminster Choir College in Princeton, New Jersey, where I studied piano, performance and pedagogy, and theory and composition. And while I was there, I got to work with amazing faculty, made wonderful friends, got a lot of cool performance opportunities. I got to sing with the choirs at the choir college, with the New York Philharmonic. I've never been to a New York Philharmonic concert as an audience member. I've only been on stage many, many times, which is kind of amazing. And really, most importantly, I met my wife there as well. She's also a pianist. I've read and heard him talk about how his father was kind of discouraging when it came to music. Fortunately for me, my parents were very supportive of everything that I've done, but at the same time, he really kind of made me think, you know what, music could be a career. Before I knew Elton and his music, I hadn't really thought of music being a career. It was just always something on the side, to give me culture or help me with my math scores or whatever, and there's some validity to that, but never really thought of it as a career. And listening to Elton really inspired me to want to achieve music as a career. I now work at Princeton Day School, which is a private school in Princeton, New Jersey. I'm the full-time staff accompanist, which means I play for all the choirs, from the little teeny tiny pre-K, pre-kindergarten kids up through the high school choir. On top of that, I also teach private piano lessons at Princeton Day School, and I also teach the high school AP Music Theory class. That's a new thing this year. I'm really excited about doing that.
When you teach us music theory, you use Elton John songs as examples sometimes. And you tend to just go and play Elton John songs at random times on either your computer or on the piano. Which is enjoyable because his music's pretty good.
I'm also the accompanist for 3 ensembles of the Princeton Girl Choir, and through that I've been able to travel. This past summer I went to Vienna, Salzburg, and Prague, which was an amazing opportunity that I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't been into the whole music field. And some of these are pictures that I took while I was at Prague, and that's actually a drawing that I made of one of the churches there. I have been having success lately as a composer, getting lots of commissions to write for people, winning some competitions, and also starting to have some of my pieces published. Here is a piece that I wrote called Hanukkah Prayer for Children. It's a choral piece. 3 preludes for the right hand alone, which are 3 piano pieces inspired by my piano teacher who actually had a stroke and lost the use of her left hand. So I actually wrote a few pieces for her and one of her students as well, and they were published. I've had another choral piece published recently. Actually this past week I saw that it was out, so that's really exciting too. I wrote him a letter last year that I actually managed to, I saw him at the Beacon Theater in New York when they were launching the Union album with Leon Russell, and before the concert, as I was walking back to my seat, I just happened to bump into Elton's partner David, and I stopped him. I got really brave for a minute. I'm actually usually pretty shy. I stopped him and I shook his hand and I said, "David, my name's Ryan, and I'm a professional musician because of Elton, and I just want to thank him for being so inspiring, and I gave David the letter, and I have no idea if David ever gave Elton the letter. I'd like to think that he did, but just in case, Elton, thank you for making such a difference in my life.
This past summer, I got to go to Vienna, which is essentially the music mecca of the world, and I got to visit where Schubert and Brahms and Beethoven were buried. I spent hours there at the Friedhof Cemetery in Vienna, and I can't even begin to describe how meaningful that was. I wept because I was just so overtaken with the joy that they have brought to my life. I would love to see my husband meet the person who brings so much joy to his life. You know, mine are dead, and Elton isn't, so.
Very good.
It would be incredibly moving for both of us if he got this incredible opportunity.
I love seeing how excited kids get when I play. I love seeing how excited kids get when I teach them something new and it kind of clicks with them, like, oh yeah. And I love inspiring kids to want to practice. I love inspiring kids to want to think of music as a career option. I work with a lot of talented people, and it's great being a mentor, and it's great being a teacher of these students and encouraging them in their pursuit of a career in music. And Elton has really been a role model for me, the way that he reaches out to new artists, kind of takes them under his wing and helps them out in the business. It's been an inspiration to me working with students, piano students, composition students, and helping them find their own voice too. I think it's just really, really great and really neat how everything's kind of coming full circle.
You introduced me to Ghetto Gospel by Tupac, which has the sample from Indian Sunset, which is one of my favorite Elton John songs.
So you're a fan too?
I am as well.
But are you the biggest fan in the world?
No, not you.
Am I the biggest fan in the world? I don't know. But at the same time, I am deeply, deeply inspired by Elton John, and he has affected my life in ways that are actually really kind of amazing.